Hello, everyone, and welcome to this live broadcast from TrueFire Studios. You're listening to and you're watching Andy Wood, who's back for another round of sessions here at TrueFire. Quote, Andy is one of this generation's top influential guitarists. We personally believe he is not just one of the young masters, but is going to be one of the, key masters in a variety of genres for years and years to come. He spent his childhood, believe it or not, playing and competing in bluegrass festivals. He won the World Championship Mandolin contest in Winfield. That was his first instrument. He didn't discover electric guitar until he was 18, but at 22 was crowned champion of Guitar Mageddon out of 3,400 other contestants. He's toured with a ton of top artists and bands: Gary Allen, Locash, Rascal Flatts, Scott Stapp, and Sebastian Bach. But today, he records, performs, and tours as a solo artist and co-leader of the Kennedy Wood Band. Fortunately for all of us, he's also very passionate about education. Already has one course in the TrueFire library, Shapeshifter, and we're going to talk about what he did this week with us in just a moment. Oh, look at this perfect timing, man.
Man,
Tommy
he scared me. He dropped that backing track so far I couldn't hear it. I just heard that snare drum. I was like, please let me be with that
was
snare
perfectly timed. Excellent. Welcome back, man.
It's good to be back, man. So good to be back.
So we first go round, we did your first project, which was Shapeshifter. Spend a couple of seconds talking about what you mean by shape shifting.
So shape-shifting is just like as our catchphrase for using the tools in your woodshed to cross different genres musically, right? So it's knowing that if you got pentatonics, that just doesn't mean, hey, I can play Leonard Skinner songs. That's like using those within a country context, using those within a jazz context. And that's the simplest formula right there. And then from there, as you alter harmony and you bring in different interesting notes, knowing that a pet lick, that could be something as simple as, could be in a rock context, could be in a country context, could be in a jazz context. It's just, it's literally, shifting through all the different shapes that you already know, taking advantage of the material you got and not being afraid to put it in different contexts, put a different accent on it, speaking that different language.
We loved, the concept for that first course, before you even recorded it. But students, it's very, very highly rated. I believe it's, straight out 5 stars across the board. Woo-woo. And, what folks are saying about it is pretty much exactly that you showed them how to take something that they already know, okay, and apply it in a lot of different genres with just a few shape-shifting techniques. You know?
Right.
Do you think it's important today, even for the guy that goes out to the local jam or, maybe works on the weekends with a band, to be able to play in different styles?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, the scoped out answer to that is musicality is a language. And the more ways you can speak that language, the more you're going to love it and the more it's going to keep you from getting burnt out on your playing, right?
Yeah.
And now let's zone in to whether you're the A-list hired gun or you're the weekend warrior. It really doesn't matter. It's like at some point you're going to find yourself in an environment playing in a genre that you're not comfortable in. So how are you going to cram? You can't cram a whole genre's worth of stuff. It's just able to be like, all right, I know I've got these tools and these are the chords. How can I twist a couple of things to get me through this scenario? And the importance of that in today's world, let's just look at the commercial aspect, man. Like the lines are so blurred between pop and country and rock. It's like the genres don't even...
You almost don't know
anymore.
what station you're listening to.
I have no idea what I'm listening to. Yeah, it's like
So what's so cool about that, and it's this, it's been this theme over the last year or so a lot of the artists coming in. A great example, Jason Laughlin or Jeff Mackerlane.
Yeah.
Also your fellow TrueFire educators. But they play out a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And talk about how, you know, they'll go from gig to gig and they have to do their own version of shape shifting, you know, to play out live. And then you hear, oh man, from students and, you know, a lot of our buds, if you go to a jam today, even to a blues jam, it's not going to be just blues.
Well, think about where we live as a society, right? In a world where once you have been on a Spotify or a Pandora or wherever you get your music from, for longer than, you know, 2 weeks, it starts learning your music and it starts suggesting you new music, right?
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And so you have to be able to like acclimate because the world is getting so small with the internet, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, when you go to a blues jam, you might get what we would consider a classic rock song at the blues jam. You're going to be playing Sunshine of Your Love or whatever, even though it's not a blues tune.
That's right.
You know what
You
I mean?
might get a country tune.
You might get a country, a working man blues. I mean, they're all versions of the blues, you know?
Yeah. So very timely course, that Shapeshifter. And what we did here this week is, you know, we put our heads together. We wanted to do 2 projects this time.
Right.
Andy, you know, absolutely made that happen. We did In the Jam with Andy Wood, and we're going to show you a little bit about what that was all about in a second. And then we did a kind of a companion course to Shapeshifter,
Right.
which is called Shapeshifter Creative Applications.
That's right.
We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get to some playing because everybody loves to hear and watch you play. So
I like to play.
In the Jam, you're getting to jam with Andy Wood.
Yeah.
He brought in 10 tracks.
Yep.
And for those of you familiar or not familiar with how In the Jam works, you can control the video angles, you can control the audio tracks, you can mute any of the instruments, you can comp for Andy, or you know, have him comp for you and you solo. If you're a bass player, you can play bass, you can play drums, horn players jump in. We call it a multi-track video jam thing. We can't demonstrate that for you here naturally in a live environment, but we've picked out I think 3 or 4 tracks.
Yeah,
right?
I think we grabbed 3 here. It looks like. Yeah, it's fun. It was fun to put together these types of things and have them, you know, kind of a different kind of task. It was fun.
We're going to do some shape in here, that's for sure. So, Tommy, how do you want to do this with the rhythm, comping first and then soloing over the comping track? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, let's have him give a quick demo of some rhythm. And then we'll
Yeah.
Okay, so a chorus or 2 of what you would do comping over the track, and then we'll stop and we'll solo over the track.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, it's all you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so in the chorus, we film you laying down the rhythm track for a full 3-minute track or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you go back and you solo over your own comping, right?
Yeah, and it was really fun and challenging because I can't remember, you know, when you're doing it in an improvisational standpoint, you're like, oh, did I play it big and did I rock it? Or did I play it like tight?
Yeah.
And it's cool to play to that, you know. I felt like, man, yeah.
Well, what's cool about that is that's sort of kind of what happens if you're in a live
That's real
situation.
life, baby.
Because you don't know what they're going to do until they do it, and you have to react to it.
Yeah.
So, Tommy, if you would roll the track, let's solo over that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
There you go. I have to, just on the comping part, one of the folks that's kind of in the chat says, I am so copying this riff. Okay. So
Hey, just pay me the royalties when you make a hit song out of it.
and-
Intellectual property,
yeah,
baby.
and good luck with that too, man. So, so 3 housekeeping things for you. Number 1, if you let us know where you're tuned in from, Andy will shout out to you.
Yeah.
It's always fun to learn where everybody is in the world in this awesome guitar community of ours, you know.
Yeah.
Number 2, whatever questions you have, post them. Allie is moderating them, and she'll put them together, and Andy loves to answer questions. And you see that little thumbs up right under the video. Show your love for Andy if you're digging what you're seeing and hearing. Okay, let's move on to the next track. Can we do that the same way?
Yeah,
A chorus or two of comping, and then we'll solo over it.
Yeah, if I could get a memory jog, I think, Tommy, is this next one in D minor? Is that one?
Yeah, it's that truck.
Oh, this is the Truxy one?
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be an E major, kids. So we're going to play some rhythm first? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah,
All right,
just
buddy, let's
for
do
a
it.
chorus or two.
Let's do it.
Shifted a little bit there with that vibe.
Yeah.
Now show us sort
Do
of
some
your
lead
approach for
stuff.
soloing over it.
Yeah, cool. A little more of that track, Tommy.
nice. We love that track too, man. Couple of things, and then we're going to do some shout outs. But well, you and I are going to earn Allie $5.
Okay, let's go.
Because Carl Shear says, and it's documented here, I'll give you $5 if you tell Andy Wood that the Troy Grady interview was awesome.
Awesome.
Quote, I hold my pick more flush to the strings if I'm coming in hot. Andy Wood quote.
That's fact.
Okay.
That has been proven.
All right. Let's see, Carl. Send that $5 to TrueFire. Well, Allie, care of TrueFire. We're going to hold you to that now. Okay, shout outs. So we've got folks tuned in from Yorkshire, UK, Grimsby, UK, Dusseldorf, Germany.
Oh, man.
Queens, Russia, Delft in the Netherlands, Galway, Ireland, Argentina, Wilmington.
So much Europe. Wow, cool.
Hanover, Indiana, Netherlands, Scotland, Brazil, Fort Collins, Colorado, Norfolk, Red Lodge, Montana, Las Vegas, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, Lisbon, Portugal, Tampa, Harlem, Netherlands, New York, Dubuque. Oh, God, I always screw that up. I'm so sorry. Dubuque or Dubuque or? Dubuque. Better. Iowa, Texas, Boston, London, Iceberg, Antarctica.
What?
I love this guy. Can you imagine? I don't even know what time it is there. Dayton, Ohio, Stuttgart, Germany, Guatemala, Knoxville, Tennessee.
I was waiting
Sweden.
on Knoxville. I was like, man, if my hometown's not represented,
There you go.
I'm not going home.
Could be a family member. You never
I
know.
hope so,
okay,
man.
or a childhood bud. And Clare, Michigan. So all over the world, every time zone, tuned in to hear you do
Dude,
your
so cool,
shape
man.
shifting thing.
I love it, man. Thank you guys all for tuning in, man. You guys don't even realize how much it means to me.
Okay, we've got, I think, one more track from the In the Jam with Andy
one
Wood
more little
course.
example here. This is all fun, and it's fun too. Like those at home, like if you know anything about my playing, man, I rarely compose anything. I love improvisation. So everything you're seeing right now, it's going to be completely different when you get the package because I improvise it different every single
right.
time. I drove Tommy crazy. I was like, Tommy, let me get another take. Let me do this one. Let me do it this way. Let me do it. So it was super fun.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting is we've been thinking about the playing on so many of these live broadcasts. While we are working with the same rhythm tracks, a lot of the top artists like yourself never really play the same thing twice, right?
Well, I mean, these songs didn't exist past Monday. We just recorded them.
I know. So we're thinking to publish, maybe to transcribe some of the cool things.
Oh, cool,
and publish that or package that in some way. So if you're hearing this, why don't you let us know if you think that's a good idea or not a good idea.
Yeah.
So let's move on to this third track.
Yeah.
What kind of track is it?
I think this is kind of that moody thing. It's like a D minor. Is that right? Yeah. So I listen to a lot of like Landau and stuff like Tales from the Bulge, Raging Honkies, and all that West Coast kind of. It's bluesy, but it's fusion, but it's it's kind of in that. And this is kind of that kind of straight rhythm section kind of vibe, kind of that moody D minor kind of realm. As Nigel Tufnell says, the saddest of all keys.
that's just 3 of the kind of grooves you're covering. What are some of the other feels in the course, just to give people
So
an
there's
idea?
another one in the chorus that's like a kind of honky tonk. And there's another one that's like real bluegrassy.
Nice.
And then there's one that's like a kind of more of that driving kind of thing. And there's even one that's like, I am unapologetically a fan of 80s guitar, 80s bands. I like Van Halen, I like Van Hagar, Motley Crue, all of it. So there's one in there that's kind of like the Neil Sean Journey, you know,
Nice.
Cake blowing in the wind, kind of soaring rock tune. So
Oh, man.
it's all over the board. There's a little bit of everything. I think that harkens back to the shapeshifter thing. I just love so many
I know
different-
that sounds great, and maybe Tommy can maybe prep that up and we'll play that out or something like that.
Who
I'm sure
knows,
people
man?
love to
Yeah,
hear it.
who knows?
Okay, listen, we need to make Allie another $10.
Okay, come on. Let's make her some
John
money.
Cooper promises to give Allie $10 if you share your barbecue recipes.
Okay,
Do you have barbecue recipes?
man, I love to grill out.
Okay.
I'm not
Just
even
give
kidding.
us a
I love-
couple of
okay,
tips.
I'm gonna give you
quick
my.
tips
This is my
from-
burger one. This is my
from
quick burger
Knoxville,
one.
Tennessee barbecue.
This is my quick burger recipe.
Okay.
I take a little bit of teriyaki, right? Some soy sauce, some fresh garlic, fresh ginger, and sriracha. Put that all in a little bag. Get it mixed up nice. Put your hamburger meat in there. Okay. Let that marinate. Take it out. Grill it. Use pepper jack, and as you're finishing the burger, grill you a slice of pineapple, and you got like a nice teriyaki kind of Hawaiian,
Nice,
Asian-inspired burger. It's so good. And if
Nice.
you want to go the extra mile, a King's Hawaiian roll instead of a regular bun.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
All right, John. We've documented it. Send it to Allie, care of TrueFire. $10.
Enjoy that burger. I
All
want
right,
the
man.
world to enjoy. I want you to enjoy that burger in Antarctica. Can you grill up there? Is that a thing?
All right, so we're still collecting questions. We'll have those organized in a minute. But let's talk about, the companion course to Shapeshifter, Shapeshifter Creative Applications.
Yeah.
Tell us what you wanted to do with this one.
Okay, it's interesting, right? Because I look at technique and harmony and all the tools that we have. They're all just like ingredients, right? They're just like your soy and ginger for your burger, you know? And the point of music to me, only to me, is to end up at the result, which is like a finished, like a song, a body of work, an album, even so. And so for me, the companion naturally is like with Shapeshifter, is like, hey, you can do all this, you can do this, you can do that. Here's a way you can twist this. But to me, it's got to go somewhere. It's not just meant, like guitar is not just like parlor tricks. It's got to serve a greater purpose. So for me, it was like I wanted to bring in a chorus and be like, pair it up with my new solo album and be like, this is how I used all these tools to get to the end result and create and end up creating my own music.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
how it works together, symbiotically.
Beautiful. So let's take Forgotten, for example.
Yeah.
Tell us what applications you're going to apply and then perform.
Right. So like Forgotten Secrets has got this really cool intro. I'm going to do it on the clean channel where it's got this like... And being like a guy that grew up with a lot of bluegrass and stuff, you hear these kind of rolls a lot in chicken picking. Like if I were to have like... all those rolls are in that style of music. But even throughout the early 2000s, I was hearing like rock bass players and stuff play like the same type of thing. Like even on Tool records here. You hear those kind of things, right? So for me, it was like blending that bluegrass country way of doing it with some of that rock thing to kind of end up at a point where I was like, oh man, I got it kind of my own sound now that's happening. And that's how I ended up with the idea that ended up being the front end of Forgotten Secrets, which ended up being the main
Nice.
riff.
So the way you present the curriculum is you'll give lessons on the application first. You'll show
lessons
us
on like
picking.
the beginning,
Right.
the fundamental. Here's where it comes from a bluegrass world. Here's where it comes from a rock
Right.
world, and then blend that together
Yep.
and then give an example of multiple different riffs and exercises that you can do to find your own stuff.
Right.
And then we slowly mutate into how I ended up
Right.
at the final version.
And
that
then you
ended up
play
being
your
awesome.
ass off, basically, right? So let's roll that track.
Okay,
and
cool, let's do it.
Show them where that winds up.
Yeah, let's do it. Four-track Tommy. Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable,
Woo,
man.
it's a handful.
It is a handful. And as Andy said, you'll get an equally killer version of that on the course, but not exactly what he played here either. The cool thing is, even if you find, I mean, let's face it, learning the performances is not for the weak of heart, although we will tab them all out. But what a great resource to pull out licks or moves, and a perfect way, I think, to illustrate the teachings, these different creative applications of yours. You know?
Yeah, I can't reinforce that enough. Like, it's not a matter of like feeling intimidated at the stuff, because when I teach this stuff, I teach like where I got it from.
Right.
Like fundamental things, maybe in bluegrass or country, or fundamental rock ideas, or even faux slide stuff like the Derek Trucksisms without the slide. I go into depth on those building blocks, and the idea is at the end, you've got enough blocks to build you a song, and
Exactly.
you've got, that's the thing.
Yeah, and also the applications. you know, if you want to write your own material, I mean, there's a lot of compositional stuff there.
For sure.
Great approaches for creating instrumentals, or you know,
Backing up
even
a
songs
singer,
back up
yeah.
a singer with. But there's also a lot of, let's call it, guitaristic technique, approaches, inflection, things like that. You ready for a few questions?
I want questions.
Okay.
It's the most fun for me.
Okay. So, this is kind of cool. Edward Johns, if you could stand in for one guitarist for just one show, who would it be and why?
Oh man, stand in for one guitarist, one show. I'm going to say it's very undeserving. I would never ever expect to get this call, but it would be a tie right now. My palate really loves Jason Isbell. I love his music, and I would love to sit in for. I would love if Sadler, if you can't make the gig, I'll do the gig. The other one would be like to perform with the Tedeschi Trucks band. So I wouldn't want Derek to not be there. I would just, if they would call me, hey Derek, call me. I'd love to come sit in with Tedeschi Trucks. Let me know. I promise not to play metal licks. It would be awesome.
Yeah. What a band too, huh?
I know. I mean, that's where my heart is right now. I listen to so much of that kind of Americana roots stuff, and I play along with it. You know, like play mandolin, play electric or whatever. So it would be one of those as of today. But that would be a different answer tomorrow.
That's
or,
right.
You know, it's like
Okay, but they asked it today.
Today, that's
your
my answer.
today.
That's my answer today.
Really, from Edward Johns, the first track. You remember the very first thing you did?
Yes.
The first track had an awesome Lukather-like feel. Is he an influence?
Oh my gosh, I love Luke. He's one of my favorite players. Obviously, Toto. I mean, there's a live in Amsterdam where they have a killer version of Girl Goodbye. And I mean, I must have watched that live in Amsterdam a million times. But there's also a really important Luke record to me early on when I first got into electric guitar. It was Lukather and Larry Carlton live in Japan.
Wow, yeah.
And it was,
I know that one.
It's a live record,
Yeah.
right? And it's super kind of off the radar.
Yeah.
But it is top shelf.
Oh my
man.
God,
top
it was
shelf.
crazy. They also, I'm pretty sure there was this thing in France called the New Morning Show, and I think Lukather and Larry also did that.
Ooh, I don't have
And I'm
that.
trying to get a copy of that video because I haven't heard it, but I've heard that it's crazy.
Okay, if you get that, I want it.
All right, you got
All
it,
right,
man.
all right.
Hey, we've got a shout out to Jeff Mackerlane.
I
don't know-
love Jeff. He's
Yeah.
so awesome, man.
Jeff, I hope you're still tuned in. He's been so busy lately, man. He recorded an album. He's been touring with Robin Ford.
Yeah, that's
he
right.
is at the top of his game, and as you know, one of the very first artists we worked with way back in the early years before, you know, anybody even knew what the hell we were doing, including ourselves. You know, he kind of believed, and he drank the Kool-Aid with us.
Yeah.
And he's got an incredible body of work. You know, I don't
He's
know,
such a
we're probably
solid player,
up to 20 courses, which is where we're going to get you in a couple of years.
I love it. Let's go.
Hello, Jeff. Give me a call, man. We miss you.
Cheers, Jeff.
Let's see. Noticed, Scott Rubel, a nice feedback bloom from your amp, but it seems to me like you're at a very low volume. Can you quickly go through your rig? And you know what? Let's answer that at the end. We're going to do
We'll
a whole
answer that
gear
at the
thing.
end. That's-
You guys
yeah,
have
for sure.
a lot of gear questions. When we get to the gear section, make sure you ask them again so we can answer them all. Question
A
from-
quick technique answer that would tie
Yeah.
into our shapeshifter
Sure.
is a lot of feedback. It really isn't controlled by the amp itself. It's how you hang on to the note and get the guitar to interact. I've found that personally. If I'm controlling the note and the string and the vibration, you can find a sweet spot in almost any volume to get good feedback.
That's a great answer and a great technique.
So it's not
lesson.
necessarily gear oriented, but yeah.
Good for you, man. What have you learned about note choice, timing, and rhythm? This is from Pick and Stone. Note choice, timing, and rhythm from playing across so many instruments and genres.
I'm still learning note choice, timing, and rhythm. I am just a fan of music. So anytime I have something that gets good to my ear, I just want to play along with it. I just want to do it. So I'm still learning. What I guess I've learned is that it's awesome to be so centered with the metronome and the click track, but also there's other times in music where I've learned that you want to have a little behind. Like when I'm playing on the Derek Truck stuff, I'm playing a little behind the beat. When I'm playing grassy, especially on mandolin or flat top, I'm in front of the beat. You know, I always make the joke I'm from Russia because I'm always Russian, man. But like it's just depends on the genre. There's certain things. I mean, you can't put a metronome to an old Bill Monroe or Flat and Scruggs record because they push so hard. But I think that's part of the linguistics of the genre. So I think that's something I've learned so much about timing,
Great
just from
answer, man.
being a fan of music.
Ice Pick Licks asked, do you target certain notes when soloing to bring out the chord tones? In other words, are you targeting
of course,
chord tones?
yeah, of course.
And is it spontaneous and feel at the moment? I mean,
Yeah.
you're not really thinking about it in your head, are you? Or are you?
So in my mind, I think very intervallically, where everything's got a number. That's you know, I'm a number guy. By that, I'm not talking fret numbers. I'm talking like the scale is represented 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? And so then if I want a sound, I know that dreamy sounds comes from lifting that fourth. I know that like Phrygian, I guess Phrygian is the proper term, but like where I heard it was like the Metallica sounds came from like, and like making all those connections. And then when I finally went to school, I was like, oh, here's what they're called. But yeah, so I'm definitely thinking about target notes, but I have this thing where sometimes I associate, I think I even say it in the chorus, I associate certain sounds with colors. I kind of hear colors sometimes, and certain songs like sound purple or whatever, and that goes to, and I tie intervals to that. That's how I remember what they sound like. So when I'm doing the chord tone thing, I'm like, that's what I'm thinking about. How do I make this sound, you know, dark, or how do I make this sound bright?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you know there is, I can't pronounce the word. I think it starts with an S, though. People, when they hear music, they hear and see colors.
I've read this. There's people that have they call it cross sensory, where some people can taste numbers, like certain numbers, and it's like something happens. It's a lot of the same imbalances that cause true perfect pitch. Like when you hear a note, like let's say A, right? If that's not exactly 440, if it's like 442 or 438, someone with perfect pitch, like Ron Thal, for example, that's like seeing white and also white, even though it's not the same color of white.
Somebody just chimed in. It's synesthesia.
Synesthesia. That is awesome. Yeah. I must have a very, very mild version of that. It's not extreme at all, but I must be
very
in there.
cool. But I love your answer. You're basically, you know, you're looking for a mood. You're looking for a color, and you know where those notes are. You know, you were talking a little modally there for a minute.
For sure.
But, you know.
Yeah.
Very great answer, man.
But I want that music to come from, you know, always got to come from a place of honesty.
Yeah.
You know? And to me, that's the most honest way I can tap into it. When I start thinking cerebrally and I start putting the focus on alterations and stuff, I start playing too much.
Yeah.
And I get real notey.
Yeah.
Turns into, what did you call it the last time? Turns into a wall of black.
Yeah.
On
you know,
the
that's the
tablature.
problem with all of us, most of us here play. And every time we pick up the guitar, we hear 100 of your voices and Larry Carlton and Jeff McErlane, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't get away from it, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, I know.
All right. How about we pick another track off of Shapeshifter Creative Applications?
Let's do Beyond the Reef.
Deal. Love that.
Yeah, this one was a really cool track. I don't think you were in here when we were filming it, but it was written as a mandolin and electric guitar duet. So it's a fun track for me to play. I really love it, and it's also my nerdy side. It's my homage to my current favorite video game, which is Destiny. It's Bungie's IP. So all my Destiny players out there, Warlock Master Race.
And which is the corresponding set of lessons?
I'm sorry?
In the course.
We talk about playing through changes, and we talk about arpeggiation.
Okay.
So you'll catch both of those things. There's some really cool, unique chord voicings. You know, some of that happens in there, and some cool arpeggiation.
Let's do it, man.
All right, cool. Let's get them. Live fade out.
Killer. I have to tell everybody, like, these live broadcasts are very, very much live. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we shoot all day. We break for a quick lunch. There's a scramble. Things get set up. We shove you in the chair, and we're off and running. And, so nothing is rehearsed here. He's pretty much improvised everything you've heard. Of course, all of the tracks we've used are from the 2 courses. All of the key learnings are from those 2 courses. Someone's asking. That one's on the Shapeshifter Creative Applications.
Correct.
Right? And, man, if you haven't hit that thumbs up for Andy, you better do it right now, okay? He's working his ass off right there. Okay, let's do some gear, if we could.
Yeah, gear's fun, man.
We still have time. So here's some questions I have already. Let's see. Okay, get Andy from A Camp. Get Andy to spill the beans on his unbranded Wambler pedal on his board.
Okay, yeah. So we got a camera here. My robo cameras are tuning in. T1000s here. That's what they're called to me. T1000s. This guy right here is a prototype. I'm waiting on the next version. It's no secret because Brian Wampler is he has posted it from the Wampler page, right? So now he has posted this picture. It's no secret. This is a prototype that Brian and I have been working on, and there's another version that I should have within the next 2 weeks. I talked to him last week. And I think they're getting 3 that are like properly mocked up or whatever. So this is a 2-stage overdrive. Right here I've got a clean amp, clean super, just a old Fender super, which is awesome. And the right side is kind of like a small boost. Sounds really good. And then the other side's like a Marshall in a box. Again, the clean amp, and then the dirt. You can play those riffs on it, and then when you stack them both is how you get the crazy gain, But this is what we're working with. So outside of that, I've got a Carl Martin compressor. I've got a BB preamp set very conservatively, so conservative, it's like this. I like it for the chicken picking thing when used with the Carl Martin. It's kind of that sound. Mm-hmm. A Hall of Fame reverb, plate setting, some delay. Nice. Especially if we go like to this thing and get the Eric Johnson thing a little bit. Those kind of sounds. And then an ISP decimator, which I've only got just to kill a little bit of the ground hum that you get when you have lights everywhere and stuff like that. And then one of my favorite pieces of gear is the UA audio aux that we're using. So we're using an amp in the room, just a little bit. We're blending that. It looks like we've got a ribbon and a 57 on it, typical. And then the aux for the load box on the amp, and then direct recording. So we have lots of channels of guitar. We can do some room mics and stuff with the aux. It's really killer. And the guitars are my Sir signature models. I've only been playing the black one because it just got brand new strings, but it's red counterpart. This one has hot dog pickups, as you can see, and this one has hamburger pickups in it. The back joint is what makes it special, right? So like a typical Telecaster has a big plate here, and this one's all beveled in and asymmetric in design. Roasted maple necks, they sound really good. These are the actual woodshed pickups. These are the Thornbuckers. Stainless steel frets, and it's really, a simple setup. This one's got a trim on it because if you're going to do the rock thing, you need a trim for, those kind of sounds. So, yeah, that's simple setup.
Awesome. What gauge strings did you say you use? We had to go out and get you some strings.
Yeah, it's weird. I've been using 9s. I like the tone of 9s, but I don't necessarily like the way they feel. It's interesting. I played 11s for years, and I like the way 11s feel because they fight. But 9s have a snappiness to them, especially on the low strings, which you can't get. You can't really get that kind of snap out of a big, thick string. Mm-hmm. So, I'm kind of the odd man out. I've worked myself onto a lighter string because I like all that snap.
And another piece of gear folks are interested in is that a rooster on your
Yeah, this is a chicken up here on my hat.
chicken.
A rooster chicken, I guess. I was playing a gig somewhere in East Tennessee, and they were giving out these hats. I was like, yeah, man, I want that chicken. I was like, if you want to do chicken picking, you got to have a chicken on your hat.
There you go.
So you know how the kids are saying, does it gent? That's the thing. Does it gent? Me and my buddies are like, man, does it cluck? You know, can you get that guitar to cluck? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so listen, thank you, man, for carving out the time to do this thing. You were phenomenal. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in from whatever time zone, continent. I think we've covered all the continents, probably. And there is a promo code, Wood Live. You'll see it underneath the video. It'll save 25% off of. You should run and get that first Shapeshifter course, which is available now, and look for the. There's a link there for pre-ordering the upcoming courses, which are In the Jam with Andy Wood and Shapeshifter Creative Applications. Tommy, what have you got dialed in for Andy to play us out on?
Andy, it's kind of your choice, man.
And how about a Flooded Mind? How about that? That's nice and raging. It's a good tune. I always like playing this one live with a full band because we have so much fun improvising on it.
Cool,
you know?
man.
Yeah.
Have at it.
Great to be here, man.
Oh,
great to be here. And thanks to all the viewers for chiming in and hanging out with us. I really enjoy the live Q&A thing so much.
They've really enjoyed it, man, and you've got a lot of thumbs up there, and
Awesome.
we really appreciate that as well. Here we go.
Let's get them.